Despite the government shutdown earlier in the year and bad weather across the country, the harvest has managed to roll along. To find out where we stand, we now turn to This Week in Louisiana Agriculture's Neil Melancon with this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry, and by First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933.
We are in the final stretches of the harvest nationwide, and if you can't tell by the markets being lower for almost all grains, you might notice when we begin swimming in it. This is one of the largest crops in history, and even widespread rains across the Midwest could not stop the combines from rolling this year. Let's first take a look at corn, which jumped 14 points up from the previous week to 73% harvested. That may be behind last year's pace, but last year was a drought year, so considering this is relatively normal this year, the crop is coming in fast compared to average. Beans are a bit ahead of corn, coming in at 86% complete. That's 9 points ahead of last week, slightly ahead of the 5-year average, and of course behind last year's drought season. Let's do a quick update on wheat. The crop rose 2 points in the good to excellent category, both ahead of the drought year in 2012 and even the 5-year average, so it looks like we'll have a big crop there come this spring. The bottom line is we have 14 billion bushels of corn and nearly 3.5 bushels of beans, so all of this stuff has to go somewhere. While we've seen exports pick up in the last couple of months, it's not going to be enough to compensate for the drop in demand in the livestock sector, plus this excess surplus. The lower prices will attract new buyers, but for the time being, the price forecast is negative. The good news, hopefully we'll see reductions in the price of food at the grocery store, Mike, when all of this grain finally makes its way through.
And I'll tell you, if Louisiana's crop is any indication of what's going on nationally, it is going to be a tremendous crop. And we know, Neil, that China is always a big player in these export markets. Certainly. Because there is more corn, more beans, more wheat, and lower prices. Any chance China will maybe increase its purchasing power and buy some more of this crop?
There is, especially when these prices come down. China is almost single-handedly keeping this market buoyed up right now, and they probably will buy more as time goes on.
All right, very good. I know you'll keep an eye on it for us. Neil Melancon, thanks. And you can listen to any of Neil's daily radio reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online, click on over to our website, TWILATV.org, and look for the LF Barn link on the home page. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Next week, we will bring you an encore presentation of our program from Faulkton, South Dakota. But in 2 weeks, we will head back into Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen for a holiday recipe you won't want to miss. Until then, you can watch any of our stories online. You know the address, TWILATV.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.